in one piece, Larry?
Hmm?
Are you in one piece?
I'm always in one piece.
That's good.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Mr. Chair,
I've seen you
Mr. Chair.
like that a few times split.
Mike, Mr. Chair,
This is a
Mike.
child's work.
it's on. The camera's
It's
on.
child's work. I've been followed and pursued by the SEC. This is nothing.
It's child's
I don't
play.
think I would want to be involved with that. Dear sir, we're gonna freeze all your bank accounts. We're gonna lock the doors on your home so you can't get in. We're gonna take all your charged cards away, and we're gonna prohibit you
Okay.
from staying in any hotel. I can see it right now.
Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the October meeting of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency Advisory Committee. Can we begin with a roll call, please?
Ms. Cobo,
Present.
Ms. Cohen,
Here.
Mr. Each, I assume is running late. Ms. Estime Irvin,
Present.
Ms. Geimer,
Here.
Mr. McDermott,
Present?
Dr. Millian could not make it. Mr. Reynolds,
Here.
Mr. Sanchez was not confirmed.
Mr. Sanchez sent me a text a little while ago. He's not going to be able to make it.
Okay.
Asked to be excused.
All right. Ms. Couch is excused, and Mr. Gentil.
Present.
We have quorum, Chairman.
Okay. Okay, can we please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Just make believe we can see. Make believe we see the flag.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Each has arrived.
Yes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 6th meeting?
I so move.
Second.
Okay, any corrections? Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. On the first item of review, it's the approval for the $80,000 agreement for legal services from Fox Rothschild, which is the new firm of our CRA attorney. So,
Yes, every year, and we always renew our contract with the firm. But now, Mr. Zelkowitz, who has been with us for over a decade now, I think.
It would be
has
13 years.
13 years.
Bless you.
Has changed law firms, so he is now a partner at Fox Rothschild.
That is correct.
I pronounced it well?
Yes.
Okay, so, as you know, we need to have our attorney's agreements in order for future legal services, and he takes care of review of all the grant applications, the agreements, any other legal matter that would come before the CRA Advisory Committee and the CRA Board. If you have any questions, Mr. Zelkowitz is here as well.
Well, I'd just like to, first of all, thank you all again for allowing me to serve as your CRA attorney for so long, 13 years. This is a great new opportunity for me. Fox Rothschild is a firm based in Philadelphia with 26 offices coast to coast and over 950 attorneys. So it's a much bigger platform that allows me to serve my clients that have needs outside the state of Florida. Gray Robinson, which I assisted in developing their Fort Lauderdale, Miami offices, is a great firm, but it's only in Florida. So this is a big step up for me, and I'm very happy. And with respect to the engagement letter, which is the standard letter we do every year, and the amount of $80,000, I'd just like you to note this is actually $20,000 less than last year's budgeted amount of $100,000, because we did not even approach the $100,000 mark last year. So as part of the budget process, which you're going to hear about tonight, or if you have questions on tonight, just so you know that this is less than last year's budgeted amount. So I'm recommending approval of the item.
Second.
well, is there any discussion? I can just say that over the years that I've been with the CRA, that Mr. Zelkowitz has done an excellent job and is invaluable from the standpoint of history. The years that he's spent here has given him some very valuable insights into where we have been and where we're going, and has certainly kept us out of trouble. So that's an important part and has done an excellent job. So I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the contract.
I so move.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, sir, and
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, everyone.
Okay, agenda item 2.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Larry Spring, Executive Director, North Miami CRA. At the last City Council meeting, Councilman Galvin, I guess, and the board approved for us a directive to go back, just to make ourselves available on a deeper dive or any questions that anyone in the public might have had on the CRA budget amendment as well as the annual budget for the next fiscal year. For the sake of time, and we stated this on the record, you guys have already gone through this process. I think you guys had a pretty thorough discussion about the budget amendment. So we just wanted to, at the very least, come back and make ourselves available for the public if they had any specific questions with regards to the amended budget. Just for the sake of the record, this is something that we customarily do at the end of fiscal year to ensure that any changes that occurred during the year that were not anticipated in the original budget are included in the budget amendment. This was also a matter that in our OIG audit, which I think you guys also have received at this point, they asked that, and it was a finding for us and for the county to make sure that we formally and explicitly go back, bring the budget amendment, and kind of update our plan for the year to discuss what we spend that amendment on. In the case here, our year-end projection of our carryover was lower than what we estimated at the beginning of the year by $369,000, so that was added to the budget. Interest on our cash and investments was up relative to where we had thought it would be. And with regards to that matter, we continue to take a conservative stand given where interest rates are. And then finally, we had a miscellaneous revenue, which was a payment that we received on an old loan that was, again, the subject of an item before this board, giving us an amendment total of $398,109. The balance of that money was actually added to commercial grants, which is under the capital grant summary in the presentation. And then the other mending item, we moved $72,000 from the operating line item for police to the capital line item. This was to account for the license plate reader project that is an actual capital expense, so we're just relocating it to the appropriate place. So really, that's the recap, and I would just ask if anyone from the public had a specific question with regards to the budget amendment, we can answer it at this time.
When are we gonna actually pass the budget?
So the budget was passed by this board,
Right.
or the advisory board. It was passed by the CRA board. It needs to be ratified by the city council, so it is on my next agenda
Okay.
to be passed. And then the county has its process. Typically, they get to it around December.
Right.
So, from a logistics standpoint, we thought everything was fine, although we are technically off from the process, but I don't anticipate any issues with the county.
So long, we have to
Right.
get in line. We need to
Correct.
as soon as we can.
Right. And they've typically not stopped any funding or anything like that, so, but we are we want to make sure the public is well informed, that we are transparent as we always have been, and kind of putting some belts and suspenders on this one, so.
Okay. Any other questions?
What is this? This mixed-use development.
That is in the book there, that is a rendering that we did for the mayor's State of the City that is supposed to be the mixed-use parking garage that we plan on doing. Clark's been after me for months to make sure I get it done, so.
Oh, no, please, not today, Clark.
Well, I mean,
Oh, no.
you put renderings up on the board at the mayor's
Oh,
conference, and then
no.
it's like, and everyone believes it, so it's like, okay.
It's coming, it's coming.
Okay. All right, anyone else in reference to the presentation? Okay, I guess we can move to the item 3.
Item 3, once again, is of the same nature. This is the FY 2019 budget presentation. Just very quickly, total appropriations on the revenue side is $8,238,984. That's based on our total TIF contributions that we're expecting to get. We will be refunding. Let me go to the detail. Of that total, we will be refunding $2,091,649 to the county and $408,542 to the city. Our total refund, and that's per the interlocal agreement. It's somewhere roughly over 20% of our total TIF. We've maintained our operating administrative expenses at 4%. For the year, we have a capital incentive program, which I know is of great concern for this board, of $1.4 million, but I know 3 and some change is already allocated to a grant that we approved already. The board already approved already for comprehensive health. Beyond that, you see the detail of the capital projects. Actually, to deal with one of your concerns, Clark, $821,000 associated with the P3, which will be us getting to the completion of the garage project in this upcoming fiscal year. Green Trail, which is actually the Griffin Center design, $821,000. Liberty Gardens, which I know you said you might have a question on, Mike, budgeted here for $250,000. And then the budget for the improvement of the Mocha Courtyard, which is the interior courtyard. And as you see, the plaza is almost complete, actually due to be completed in the next few weeks. So again, an extra indulgence for the public. So if there are any questions specific to the budget, want to make ourselves available.
Any questions? We have a lot of wonderful projects coming up. We really do, with the pool and everything. So 2 years from now, we'll be very proud of what we do in the next year or so. These items we've already approved.
Yeah, there's
Mr.
no action.
Yeah,
No
there's
action needed.
Yeah, okay.
It was just to make ourselves available for any further detailed questions from the public.
Okay. Yes? Would you like to? Name and address?
Marisol Medina, 1270 Northeast, 124th Street. I just saw the images of the Liberty Gardens and the fountain, and then something that they were gonna do downstairs, like similar to what they have by the Fillmore with the trees that go like this. Is that just imagery, or is that something they actually intend on doing?
No, those are projects that have been funded and that are ongoing. Liberty Gardens was brought to the advisory board and to the CRA board at our last meeting. There was a gap between what our estimate was from the design to what was actually bid by the open bid process. While that gap is funded from 2 other sources that are not CRA funded, so it doesn't even impact our TIF, the board thought it advisable to go back, take another look at the design, because they actually approved the final design. we bid that out, and now they're gonna kind of value engineer that design back a little bit, to see if we can keep it back in the 250. What was this? The fountain, yes, was already approved, so that's moving forward. And I guess the other one was the courtyard. Yeah. So
Okay.
those are ongoing projects, and they will due to be completed in this next year.
I think this might have been on the other one. It says that the director has a 20%, how did it say it? Said something about like 20% of the CRA funds is available to him for personal use in regards to like events and things like that. Sorry, let me look at that.
Nope, wrong CRA.
Hold on,
No.
I think that was in the previous,
No, this is the same presentation.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
oh, it just pulled up as two different, files when I looked it up,
Okay.
so.
No, maybe it refers to my salary being $20,000 to be the executive director, the lowest paid CRA executive director in the entire state of Florida.
Oh, I
by
just
the way.
wanted to know what kind of entailed.
And we,
Country, Mr. Manager, what you think?
and he has the lowest salary of any CRA, and we have one
Yes.
of the largest CRAs.
Right on.
So,
You know what? That means, Mr. Manager, we gotta get you that money.
You're getting a bargain. It's a bargain, a bargain.
Yeah, it is their salary. It says employee salary and fringe.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was.
okay, anything
Personal
else?
cash and. I think there's other big ones. I just kind of wanted to know about the projects because I sadly didn't see the images until today. The website's so tricky now. I mean, they simplified it, but it's different, so it takes a minute to figure out where it's at.
So
Thank you.
I will say this on the, and I'm looking at the images that you're looking at.
Yeah, with
The Liberty Gardens, that was the design, and this is just for sheer transparency. Because of the board wanting to value engineering back, that image may now be pulled back on. I think what will be removed based on my preliminary discussions, we probably won't have 4 mural facades. They'll probably only do 1 or 2. But the lighting and the basic stuff will still remain, but that'll be the biggest
So we've
change.
got murals again?
It'll be less murals, because the murals,
Well, because I know that when we were doing the LDRs, they were trying to remove the murals and stating that there might be citations, so I'm glad.
oh,
to
no,
hear
we,
that within that corridor, they're gonna be able to.
yeah, we modified the LDRs to include murals on certain corridors, so.
Oh. Can I just add to that, Ms. Medina? Part of the program that we have, Art in Public Places, we have $100,000 in the line item to do a mural project. What the manager's speaking of is specifically to Liberty Gardens. And they were gonna do 4 panels, interchangeable panels. And they thought it would be more cost effective to just do 1 mural to try to cut down on the cost. But we are having a mural project as soon as the budget is funded.
My only input on that is that since it's basically fully funded, I think we should just go with the way it is. I mean, that just doesn't that make sense? I mean, it just is, since we have the money to pay for something really nice, I think to value engineer it backwards is a little,
Why would you wanna take something that's you, I mean, why
It's-
are we gonna do it half-assed again?
Well, it's one,
Cause that's what we do, right?
well, no, the issue is, the issue is about, and it's an education point on why there would be a difference between what our internal engineer or an internal architect or design person estimates something to be versus what the market actually reveals when we go out. There are a number of market factors that affect the bid. So, and to simplify, and we use this as an example, we can go around this table and say, oh, when you had to fix your toilet and you had to fix your toilet and you had to fix your toilet, you all paid $500. Okay, cool. So in my head, my estimate should be $500. When I actually go out and call 5 plumbers today, it's $1,000. That doesn't mean I underestimated or anything. It's just that's where the market is. Now, the market could be affected by a number of things. A, I want it done right now. So 2, how many other toilet projects are going on at the same time? We have this issue when it comes to roofs after hurricanes and trees and all that stuff. So you see those market conditions change. Cost of materials, a lot of other factors, and quite frankly, the industry that's bidding on that factor on a package, being more in tune with all of the little nuances associated with the delivery of the project, as opposed to our public works director and our PEs that are generalists in that area. So they know some of the stuff and they can do material costing, labor costing, but the people who are actually going to do the work will drill down, and so we've put some information together for the board to kind of share. That's how we go through the estimating process. We've talked about possibly, depending on the scale of the project, so if it's something that's, maybe above $1 million, we'll go ahead and spend, a couple $1,000s for a professional estimator to actually do an estimate and include that in the bid, as in the presentation, as opposed to just doing our internal. We've done some research. Some cities do all three, so they have their internal estimate, they'll have an external estimate, and then those will be the two, kind of your range, if you will, and then you go to the market. In the existing case, as is, nothing was wrong. It's just sometimes those estimates, the prices come in lower 50% of the times, and 50% of the time they come in higher. It's just kind of just what it is. And again, specific to this one, we actually, the board decided exactly all of the elements that they wanted in this design. So, from your recommendation, then they had their conversation, and from their conversation, that's what it costs. So, the fortunate part, like you said, we do have the funding already. It does not impact the CRA's funding at all, so it's coming from two outside sources. And it works for us. So I will certainly, in my briefings this week and next week, I'll make sure that I share those sentiments with the council members.
Okay, we appreciate that.
I don't know everyone that's doing work of any kind that involves any kind of construction is paying a good bit more right now because the economy is so good. Everyone has work. When the economy's not good, people, they double down, they take less, and they sharpen their pen, to get the job done. Right now, it's like, oh, I've got all the work I need. Sure, I'll give you a throwaway price. Not that this is a throwaway price, but that is, it affects everything. So I know a lot of people are going out to trying to do big renovations, and they're having a very hard time. What they thought was going to be a $100,000 addition to their house is a $175,000 addition now.
We would,
So, that's everywhere, right?
I know.
So, maybe we can have a crash in the economy, and so we can get this project done like we want.
No, we don't want.
We don't want that.
Exactly.
But, Mr. Manager, we would really appreciate if you would convey the feeling of the board for that when you meet with the individual council persons.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. CRA attorney's report.
No report tonight, sir.
Okay. Executive Director.
As required by state statute, we are to advertise when the advisory committee meetings and the CRA board meetings are. So in your packet, you see, all the dates for every first Monday of the month at 6:30, and it was also advertised in the Herald, and you see the copy. So this is just for the general public to know that our advisory committees are every first Monday of the month at 6:30, and our CRA board meetings are every second Tuesday at 5:30. And one last thing I forgot to mention is that we will be attending, the manager and I will be attending the Florida Redevelopment Association Conference this year again, October 24th. We've applied for 3 awards. We hope to hear from them soon. Fingers crossed. We were fortunate to receive our first award this past year, so maybe we'll be lucky again. So, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to try to attend the opening session. So is there,
It's in Sanibel.
It's Sanibel
It's in
Island.
Fort Myers. We're
Fort
visiting
Myers.
Fort Myers CRA this year.
yeah. So, matter of fact, when I was first on the CRA board, we took a trip over there, and that was one of the first CRAs that I actually sat down with the director and walked around, everything else. And they're doing some neat stuff over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a-
And
it's
Fifth
October-
Avenue is still Fifth Avenue there. one of their main corridors over there?
I'll let you know when we see it.
Oh, okay. But just know that we'd like to participate in that. If you would, I know Mary,
Last year, so-
yeah, Mary would like to. Anyone else?
I think Mr. Gentil, since
Pardon?
Mr. Gentil's our newest
I think
member.
it's, what day is it, Tuesday?
October, yeah, it's usually Tuesday to Friday, October
Tuesday to Friday.
24th through, I think, the 26th. Yeah,
I think, didn't you say that Tuesday was the most important day?
for board members, new board members, I suggested Mr. Gentil try to make it at least for that day. It's a 4-hour intensive seminar for
Right.
new staff, new advisory committee members, and new board members.
But you
Um,
always
it's a
will hear
CRA
different
101 crash
information and New
course.
information, always. So, and it helps as a board member to just be on,
All attend.
Okay.
yeah.
And those of us who've already done the crash course, then we get to go on the tours to visit, the progress of the
Yeah,
other
it's cool.
CRAs.
It's really neat. You'll
So-
enjoy yourself.
What days are they running?
Tuesday
20
to Friday,
Yeah, October 24th.
the end of the month, right?
Yes, October 24th.
Yeah,
It's in Sanibel.
yeah. Should be fun. You wanna
4
ride over, we can ride together.
Well, the city's gonna pay our way over there and pay for the
Who
hotel
would
and
fly?
meals. I
you
don't
know?
have a heart attack.
We'll be driving.
Yes.
We will be driving, yes.
I don't know, that's 55 cents a mile, something like that.
Yeah,
No flights.
yeah.
That's-
No flight, Mr. Manager?
No flights.
I swear it might be cheaper to fly. It's pretty cheap in Florida.
Yeah, it is. So,
Intense.
No?
okay.
Tallahassee's been running $700 to $1,000 for a round trip.
I can do round trip to Jacksonville for $125.
Right, so people have been flying to Jacksonville and then driving to Tallahassee.
It's a long drive.
Yes, it is. I have to go there for the city business, and I usually am not there for
Okay.
6 hours.
Any other old, oh, I'm sorry.
Public comments?
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, Chief Bays, did you wanna give us, any kind of update or anything?
Unless you want me to speak about something.
No, not
It's not on
necessarily,
the
okay.
agenda.
All right, any other, old business to come before us? Any new business? Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Second, all in favor?
Aye.